goes to New Orleans. New York got the ways and means, just won't let you be. Oh.
We knew that we had something right from the beginning. As soon as I heard Grateful Dead music, I knew that it was power, and it was fun, and it was a serious force to be dealt with.
Boys and things will come by the dozen. Ain't nothing but drugstore. Pretty little thing, let me light your candle, 'cause mama, I'm sure hard to handle now. Yes, I am.
Pigpen, of course, brought the major blues influence. He was big into Lightnin' Hopkins and John Lee Hooker and those kind of guys, and also Chicago blues. He listened and emulated the Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf. Jerry brought more of a country influence. He had been in bluegrass bands, and he played banjo and a lot of in country guitar or bluegrass guitar. Then, of course, Phil, who brought with him, he was a classical music student, a composer, a modern composer. And he brought with him and instilled in me a love of modern classical music. Then there's Billy, and he brought rock and roll and R&B drums with him. That was his world when he came to the band, and it was a good one. I was a folkie. I was kind of young when we started out, and I didn't really have a real realm of expertise. I was just sort of the journeyman, and I got whatever assignments, whatever parts needed to get played, and I just sort of played the field. And then don't forget Mickey. Mickey brought with him. I think that he's convinced that God is a drum, and the way to heaven is through beating your instrument with a stick.
That's the thing, the strength of the Grateful Dead. It allowed for all of our influences to come together and to make another entity, something of the whole. That's always been the beauty and the strength of the Grateful Dead, to synthesize all of these different styles and make Grateful Dead music out of it. Because in Grateful Dead music, you have all the musical styles of all the cultures of the world pretty much embedded in it. So the Grateful Dead is like a world music band, is what it is. That's how I look at it. It's a 21st century world music band.
We felt we were the cutting edge, or we and our circle of friends, or the other bands and the people in that San Francisco scene. Particularly the year before, they declared the Summer of Love, or the press declared the Summer of Love.
The Council for a Summer of Love proclaims a Summer of Love in the city of San Francisco. We believe that Haight-Ashbury is the focus of a universal spiritual awakening.
The Jefferson Airplane were the first guys to make it big. And, everybody was wondering, sitting around scratching their heads, wondering, how come, we're as good as them, aren't we? Aren't we? I mean, everybody was thinking that to themselves, at least. But they made it big. They had Gracie, and they had a sound.
One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small.
They cranked out a real good record, and it got a lot of play, and they suddenly became big stars, and so we sort of followed on their coattails around the country in some ways.
See that girl barefoot in the lawn, whistling and singing, she's a carry-on, and laughing in her eyes, dancing in her feet, she's a neon lifeline, and she lives on the street. Hey, 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 coming by every day.
It was everybody coming together, gathering together as a tribe, as it were, as a people, and we all believing maybe not in the same thing, but thinking we might be believing in the same thing. Everybody wanted, the air of discovery was everywhere. Electricity, it was crackling in the air. I mean, it was exciting, it was electric. It seemed like we were the house band for the 60s, you know? It seemed like that. We were at everything because we used to play free in the park and all that. So it was sort of like our party.
Oftentimes, if we didn't have a gig, we'd just go out and play in the park because we felt like it. We can't do that anymore. It's a little more complicated than that now. You know, number one, it's too expensive for us to do, and secondly, we just can't do this. All the towns that we used to play in have passed ordinances that say that you can't have assemblies that big because it's too much to control, and it would get way out of control. But still, we're those guys from back then, and we still remember that and what fun it was. And there's a little bit of that in every show.
Don't ease, don't ease. Don't ease me. Get on that funk coming on. Don't ease me. Don't ease, don't ease. Don't ease me. Get on that funk coming on. Don't ease me. Wave that flag, wave it wide.
I've known about the fans for some time, but I didn't really find out about the depth of it until I started working. I worked on a Grateful Dead movie I sort of put together. That's when I started to get some sense of the depth, you know, the enormous variety of kinds of people, you know. It's just all kinds of guys, you know, these like street corner Brooklyn guys, you know, and PhDs in thermonuclear physics, you know, and, you know, lawyers and professionals and incredible people of all sorts, you know, of every age and virtually, and every sort of background.
I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what the Dead are about. You know, there's a lot of different people here, all walks of life. There's a lot of lawyers and doctors who put a tie-dye on the weekend. There's a lot of people who make this their life. It really encompasses all walks of people, so it's a really cool scene. That's why I keep going.
Our fans are dedicated, yes, to be sure, and they're real knowledgeable about what we do. But I think other fans of other groups are probably equally into those groups. It's just that we have a bigger body of material, generally speaking, than a lot of other groups, and so there's more for them to discuss.
Because every show's different.
They're all different. The music is always great, and they don't play the same stuff, so...
Last year at the tour that we were on, this same tour, we heard 97 different songs, and they only played one song twice.
The Deadheads are really an invention of the Deadheads, not an invention of the Grateful Dead. You know, I mean, they devised their whole subculture. I mean, they have a set of rules, they have their own etiquette, you know. It's a whole world unto itself that has its own kind of sensibilities. We knew we had fans back then, before there was the word Deadhead. And then they came together as a group consciousness, and that's when they call themselves Deadheads. And of course, their sheer numbers and tenacity has elevated them to be the epitome of fan.
I'm totally proud to be a Deadhead. I would totally support my lifestyle and spread it to everyone. I totally think it's right on, and this is where it should be. This is the way the world should be. This is how we should live, all be together. We're all a family, and everyone wants to be together, man. We're all meeting new people every day and totally coming closer together.
The fans, a lot of them wear the tie-dye stuff and all that kind of stuff. I have never understood that. I've hated tie-dye all my life. You won't catch me wearing that stuff. No, it's too loud for me, you know. It's a little on the brash side. But nonetheless, whatever they find fulfilling in life, they should feel free to, you know, follow their bliss.
would definitely say that the Grateful Dead lives in the live performance. That's what it was made for. The studio is an artificial atmosphere to make music. We make music with the connection with an audience. We form a circle. It becomes a feeding ground, actually. We feed off of them and they feed off of us. And that's where X comes from, the X factor. You can't get that in the studio on earphones. Some people can. We were never a recording band. I never looked at the Grateful Dead in those terms. Grateful Dead was in the moment, live, in front of an audience, and without a net.
Live performances, that's the reason why each show is unique, you know, because it's the thing of being able to trust what everybody's going to do. Sometimes we don't play that well. Sometimes it doesn't work right, you know. It isn't something you control. It's something you let happen.
The Grateful Dead are not really afraid of failing in front of millions and thousands of people. But also with that failure comes success, and that success is what keeps people coming back and the Grateful Dead coming back.
Good morning, so good to see you. Weren't just a dream of mine. Realize the raven, real as thunder. Realize the sun shining, still so very undefined. Can't imagine what's behind those sleepy eyes.
There's no way ever for me to predict what anybody in the band is going to play. Every musician in the band has their own musical personality, which is, we share some points of view, but we're not alike. You know, we don't play the same way. We don't approach music the same way. And except for the Grateful Dead, which is the one thing we all do together, we're all pretty different.
Little stranger, don't try to hide now. You look so young, you're afraid. There is no danger from the devil. He may want you, I'm in his way. You don't know how easy it is. You don't know how easy it is to love you.
We do improvise quite a bit. That's what keeps us going, because we can approach a given song completely differently from every time we play it, so we don't get bored with the material and we don't get at each other's throats and stuff like that. I don't think anybody in the group would ever want to try to do something that sounds like anything we've ever done before, because that would be familiar territory, and that's not what we're into.
The Grateful Dead is constantly trying to mutate, constantly trying to change its skin. You can look at it like a snake, you know, leaving its skin behind and getting a new skin all the time. It happens all the time. And so we keep growing musically over the years, and that's what it's all about.
She got everything she needs. She's an artist. She don't look back. She got everything she needs. She's an artist. She don't look back. She can take the dark out of the nighttime, paint the daytime black. She can take the dark out of the nighttime, paint the daytime black.
if I live long enough, that the Grateful Dead will last. You know, I mean, if we all could be happy and be still in love with the music when we were older. No one has told us when to quit. No one's giving us a ticket for going over age or anything like that. It's not like, you know, you got a violation for playing when you're old or anything. So it's one of those type of things that actually, it's like fine wine for me. I mean, I'm enjoying my playing now more than ever. I mean, and we as a band are just starting to lock up.
Goddamn, will I declare, have you seen the light? Their walls are built of cannonballs. Their motto is don't tread on me. Come hear Uncle John's band playing to the tide. Come with me or go alone. He's come to take his children home.
To play fine music and to have an ongoing conversation, sometimes it might take 30 years. Who's to say? I mean, why would you think that you could play music, which is so incredibly complicated, in 4 or 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 25 years? The masters, they've been playing 30, 40, 50 years, some of these incredibly gifted older musicians. Then they really get into their, the conversation.
Must be getting early. Clocks are running late. Ain't right on the morning sky. Looks so phony. Dawn is breaking everywhere. Not a candle, curse the glare. Draw the curtains, I don't care, 'cause it's alright. I will get by. I will get by. I will get by. I will survive.
Well, we're growing older with our music. Our music is growing older with us. It's not getting tired. It's just getting another slant. You know, as you get another slant on life, you bring that to the music. I mean, I'm not the same as when I was 20. I don't want to be the same as when I was 20. I was so frantic then. You know, now I know what to do with it a little more. You know, and I'm sort of savoring it now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. I feel a feeling of accomplishment over the years, knowing that we're still doing it only better, you know, and we're still all together and like each other, and we prove that, you know, good things can stay good and they don't have to turn sour, and you can build on your experiences and become conscious and use it as a powerful force, hopefully for good. That's what the Grateful Dead's all about. So when I look back over it, I realize how much good the Grateful Dead has done over the years, not only to the people that it's touched, but also the members themselves. Because remember, this is a healing music. This music has medicinal qualities to it. It's not just an entertainment kind of music. This music is a little deeper than that. I think that's why people come back, and that's certainly why the Grateful Dead come back to the Grateful Dead.
Sometimes the lights are shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me. What a long, strange trip it's been. Truckin', I'm going home.
Welcome back to House of Style. The Grateful Dead have been around for over 25 years. This means they have fans that have been with them since the 60s. There's also a new group of fans who are just getting into them today. The one thing these fans have in common, besides their great love for the Dead, is a special style that's all their own.
Bottom line of the whole scene is very simply stated. There is nothing like a Grateful Dead concert.
We try to come out here and try to enjoy the show and get some vibes and some nice energy flowing.
I dig it. All kinds of good positive energy coming around.
First show was in 72.
1969.
67.
Yeah, you got people from like 2 years old to 80 at each show.
She's my mom. This is my boyfriend. This is his little sister.
This is my mom.
His mom. Hi. It's a family day at the show.
Taking us to probably around 50 shows.
Yes, indeed. Our lovely social area. And supplies and staples. Neat and orderly arranged. Recycled bus furniture.
Hasn't changed because we have to be comfortable at the shows. And everyone's very comfortable in their tie-dyes and their light cotton wear and purple stocks.
Very casual, very hippie, comfortable, portable, like layered, so you can take it off when it gets hot. Birkenstocks, I painted them myself. Keep them original and different.
You can like buy these, like people sell them and stuff, but they're really supposed to be traded, you know? It's a rock, but it's, you cut it in half and that's what it looks like on the inside. I guess that's what we all look like on the inside, you know?
Tie-dye is like the epitome of hippiness, of happiness.
I put a tie-dye on and I just feel like dancing around and jamming. They're a lot of fun, you know? The point's not what you have on, it's up here, man, it's in here, you know? Like, this is a beautiful place, and it's not because we're wearing funny clothes. It's because everybody here loves each other. I found a home! I love it! A Deadhead is just like any other person in the world. It doesn't matter if you live in your van, you know, if you live in a house, as long as you're happy. That's what the Deadhead's all about. Don't you guys agree?
Yeah. Enjoy